Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 2 of the Indy Esports Network Switch Up series. Welcome to everyone at home, everyone from Australia, New Zealand, all around the world who is watching, and thank you for being a part of it. We are here, as I said, for round 2 of the Indy Sim Switch Up series from the Watkins Glen International Circuit, and we are here in the IndyCar going around 40 laps at the moment. We are currently in the last 8 minutes of practice. And a little bit of history on the Watkins Glen International Circuit. It's actually nicknamed the Glen. It's a racetrack located in the town of Dix, just southwest of the village of Watkins Glen in New York at the southern tip of Seneca Lake. It is a permanent circuit as of 1956, 2.45 miles long. It has 5 layouts around the track that they can run. Tonight we are running the boot layout, as you can see right there. It's originated on a 6.6 mile public road circuit in 1948, so a lot of history around this track. But no further ado, if I put my teeth in, before we get into qualifying, we'll get you on a lap with one of the drivers to talk you through the circuit. Then we'll go into qualifying, all the sponsors, all that type of stuff. So I'll just go down and I'll bring one of the drivers up now to take you through a lap of Watkins Glen boot. Edward Foster, you got a copy, mate?
Certainly do.
Ed, we are live here at Watkins Glen Boot. We've got just over 7 minutes rather left in practice, and you've been kind enough again to give the viewers a bit of a lap around Watkins Glen. So are you happy to talk them around a lap of Watkins Glen?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you can see, guys, we've just come out of the pits here. This is an awesome circuit here, upstate New York, very historic place. Used to host the US Grand Prix way back when, fell into disrepair, and then got purchased by NASCAR and re-renovated, and thankfully was saved from probably becoming another housing development, to be perfectly honest. But we're going to wind up here for hopefully a fairly quick flying lap to give you guys a bit of a idea about what this track looks like. We've got the red tyres on, the red mark tyres. Now, that colour denotes the softer of the two compounds we've got available to us. So you're going to see a mix of cars out there during the race. Some that are running this red compound, which is the soft compound, and others with a normal black sidewall, which will indicate to you that it's the harder compound. The big difference between the two, the red compound is the faster tyre. So why don't we use that all the time? Well, the reason is soft compound, it wears out a lot quicker. So you can have that pace there for a little while, but it's not going to last. So you're going to see a mix of strategies coming into the race, probably looking at around about 3 stops with the fuel that we've got available. So doing this fast lap here, we're looking at getting a nice smooth exit out of the last turn here. It's quite a quick one, bit of banking there. And you're looking to get on the throttle as early as you possibly can and power out down the straight here. Now turn 1 can actually really suck you in because it's downhill and you can't brake as late as you think you can. You want to get all your braking done, then power through the corner, use that little bit of surface you've got up there to the left, and then it's just flatter up the hill. You're not going to use the brakes again until we get to the bus stop, so you're just upshifting and holding it flat through here, out onto the straight. You really feel the steering load up as the downforce comes on the car as well, and no power steering in these, so it can get very, very heavy. Now, as we brake to the bus stop, go down through the gears. You take a lot of curve there. You want to avert that curve there on the left because it can spin you around and then puts you down into the carousel where you're just patient, waiting, and then go. As soon as you can actually see the curve there on your left, you can get right back on the throttle. And then we've got another downhill braking zone here. Tuck it in nice and tight, get on the throttle as early as you possibly can, run it out wide. And now we've got an uphill one, which is very easy to get the tail out if you're not careful. I tend to follow this little line there of extra tarmac, but you can take a number of different lines through there and it's all pretty much the same. That's just my preferred one. This corner, very little tricky corner. It looks as though somebody's had a bit of an off there in front of us. Yeah, there he is over there on the left. Don't come back on. And this is my least favourite corner on the track here, coming back onto the old circuit. I never really feel as though I get that turn right coming back onto the old part. And once again, we're back to the final sweepers to finish off the lap. You just want to try and carry as much mid-corner speed here as you possibly can on the throttle nice and early. Use that curve out there on the left. And that is a lap of Watkins Glen, and we've got to do that 40 times.
And there we are, gentlemen. There's a lap of Watkins Glen by no other but the man himself, Edward Foster. in the IR Delara IR18 IndyCar around the Watkins Glen boot. Edward, thank you for your time to be able to do that tonight and create that content for the viewers, and we wish you all the best in the race tonight, mate.
Thank you very much. Very quick-looking guys out here tonight as well. Looks like it's going to be a really close, really exciting race for everyone. So hopefully it's a cracker, but we should enjoy it either way.
Yeah, really strong field, and through practice at the moment, it looks like there's some really close times here. So strategy and everything's going to play a part, but wish you all the best. Thank you for giving us the time, and have fun tonight, mate, and we'll let you go back down and get ready for quali.
Thank you very much.
There we go, guys. There was a lap around Watkins Glen boot in the IndyCar with Edward Foster. He comes second last week in the first round of the Into Sim Esports Switch Up Series. And by second, I mean it was by 0.02 of a second. You'll see that on our cover photo on our Facebook page, how close that was. It was an amazing race, and hopefully we can back that one up tonight. So currently in practice, we've got 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. We've got Michael Skurlock, my actual teammate in other series for Crank Esports, leading the field with a 128.23. We've got Sam Katakazunas, 0.24 behind him in second. Riley Curtis from Mark 1 Esports, 3/4 of a second behind Skurlock, actually in third. Edward Foster, who just took us on board for a lap around Watkins Glen, just a little bit 400ths behind Riley Curtis. We've got McLaughlin there, 8 tenths behind Skurlock in fifth. Dave Douglas, who actually led this practice session early on by a little margin, has dropped back to sixth. Sorensen is there nearly a second off the pace in seventh. Terry Marwood, 1.39 seconds off the pace there in eighth. Luke Trahair, another one of my teammates that I do run with in other series for Crank Esports, out of ninth at the moment in practice, 1.41 seconds behind. And the man himself, JCW, Joshua Carroll Walden, rounding out the top 10, 1.454 seconds off the pace. So interesting to see, guys, how this is going to play out in qualifying. Practice has been good. It's been a good hour-long practice for these guys. As Ed did mention, there are different tyre compounds. They are going to have to pit twice. We do have 75% fuel. I did a couple of laps around here myself this afternoon trying to get this ready and see what this is going to do. So how these guys are going to be able to play this out is going to be interesting. They only get one set of tyres, two set of tyres, including the set they start on. So they're going to have to double stint one of the set of tyres. So do they run the hard tyres early and double stint the hard tyres, or are they going to push it and double stint the soft tyres? So this race isn't going to play out till around lap 30, I don't think, and depending on cautions, etc. And cautions tonight will be done all on iRacing. But before we go into qualifying, I just got to make a big mention to all our sponsors. We've had an overwhelming response this year to our first series that we've run, and we're only in round two. So first of all, Chris Purnell, Virtual Motorsport Mentor, absolutely amazing for him getting on board. He is giving up a random draw for a driver training session at the end of the series for either one of the drivers that enter this series for the 12 rounds. So that's going to be really good for one of these drivers at the end. Vision Images, they're supplying all the amazing images that you see there on social media and all our socials at the end of it. And he's actually running tonight and sitting there in P7. So thank you to them for supplying all the images. Also, a new sponsor, Voodoo Vinyl and Signs. He's come on to do all the trophies. These trophies are going to be mega. They're going to be up to your knees. They're going to be great. So we can't wait to be able to give that to the top three in this series. I'll keep quickly running through these as they're about to go into qualifying. Qualifying will be 10 minutes. They get 2 laps standalone qualifying. So I'll just keep going on and doing this at the moment. Mayhem 4x4 Mechanical. They've come on board. They originally were giving us a contribution towards the trophies, but with the change of Voodoo Vinyl and Signs coming on, with that being their niche, we're going to utilise that and to be able to give 3 drivers at random at the end of the series, random draw, to be able to give them iRacing dollars to be able to download more content and do stuff for whatever they want to do in their own iRacing careers. So thank you, Mayhem 4x4 Mechanical. TJ Pollard at TP Graphics. He's giving away a random paint to it was originally going to be the winner of each round, but now it's a random draw of each round of everyone that won. So you would have seen that on our socials. He draws that live, and he drew that live last week, and that's been run and won and awarded. So one of these lucky drivers will get that at the end of the race tonight, which will probably be done live either Saturday or Sunday. So you'll all be able to see it there on who wins that. And a Bruzy Australia, or a Bruzy Racewear Australia, they're giving a free set of sim racing gloves to a random driver at the end of the series as well. That'll be drawn. So not only is it just individual championships and stuff, and we're going for trophies, the series is all about participation, and there's always random draws and everything that is going on. So you can get a little bit back for your racing dollar. So now we go into quali, and we will just watch. They're just on their outlaps at the moment. We'll go quiet for a minute rather. God, I'm doing well tonight. And we will watch them and see who is going to set those times early. And here we go, guys. We're about to start getting into the hot laps now. I'm sure that my main man will be able to bring up the tower here so we can start seeing some times and who we're on board with. But we are about to get those hot laps at the moment. There's no one set a time yet. It's a decent outlap, probably a minute 40 seconds. So the 10-minute qualifying is good for them. They get 2 laps. So let's see how we go at the moment. We're currently on board by the looks of it with Norman Clark. He's had a green sector. I think we're on board with Norman Clark. Actually, sorry, my apologies. We're on Ruben Phelps at the moment, going around. Look how beautiful that Mark 1 Indy car looks. Really, really good livery. All right, so we see the guys going around there, and Josh Carroll-Walden's just posted a 1:30.366 at the moment. Sam Katakazunas is full of purples at the moment, so it looks like he's doing a really, really amazing job. He's done a 29.941. Who else we got there? Sorry, guys, this is going to happen really, really quickly, so bear with me. I'm all on my own tonight, flying solo, as they say, in my hang glider. So I'm trying to catch up with everything that's going. As you see it on the bottom now, like we've got green sectors everywhere. So just bear with me. Just watch these cars go around and watch it all play out. We definitely do need that tower shortly, though, so we can have a look, though, and see where these guys are sitting. But there are definitely green sectors everywhere. Sean King's there pulling out green sectors. Green sectors are their personal best, but we've got to be looking for the purples. The purples are what we want to look for, and that's the sector best. Edward Foster there pulling out some green. Sean King, there's greens everywhere. Where do I look? I need some help here. I need to breathe. There's green sectors everywhere. There we go. We've got the tower. Sam Katakazunas at the front at the moment. We've got a big send into the wall. That's not going to... Sean King into the wall there. That's not going to help his qualifying, but Sam Katakazunas on top at the moment with a 1:29.68. Sorry, that was Sean McLaughlin, who's actually currently sitting second. So, sorry, I've got race control in my ear. Just bear with me, guys. I'm trying to keep up with everything. Sean McLaughlin was going for his second hot lap there, and looks like, it took a little bit too much on exit, and that wall bit him, and I'm sure he's got a headache after that one. Lucky he's wearing the hands device, so his head didn't go into the steering wheel. So, currently, we've got Sam Katakazunas up the front with a 1:29.68. JCW, Joshua Carroll-Walden, down below him, just nearly half a second off him. Sean McLaughlin there that you just saw have a wild ride, 0.63 behind him. There's a lot of guys that looks like either they haven't taken a time yet or they haven't been able to consolidate that qualifying lap. And there we go. Dave Douglas has just jumped up into third with a 129 or 130 nearly flat because he's 0.42 behind. So this is going to play out really, really interesting. We got Lachlan Acujo in 10th at the moment, just 1 second off. And the man who took us on that hot lap in 9th is Edward Foster. And we're currently on with my teammate and other things. Luke Traher from Crank Esports at the moment, currently sitting in 8th, 0.71 seconds behind. He's running the nice pink livery, which looks similar to the Formula One livery that was run by the Force India team. So don't have sectors on him at the moment, but he's on his second flying lap. He's currently in 8th, 0.71, so let's see if he can improve on that. And as we see Luke Traher come across the line, let's see where he ends up in qualifying. And boom, up to P2. What a lap by Luke Traher. Bang. That was nearly bang on Sam Katakazunas' time. And now we just see Michael Skurlock jump them both and go to the top with a 129.27. Told you it'd come down to the end of qualifying. We're under 3 minutes to the end of qualifying now, and then we're going to go into the race. There are a couple of guys that haven't set a lap. I don't know whether that's strategic and they want to keep out of what may have a little bit of issues with some incidents at the beginning of the race. But, and we're on board with Jake Skilton as he goes over the line. But currently it looks like that's where we're going to end up in qualifying. We've currently got Michael Skurlock sitting on top for Crank Esports with a 129.27. Sam Katakazunas out of P2 is 0.03, if I'm reading that correctly. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Out of P2, we've got Luke Traher out of Crank Esports as well, out of P3 with a 0.12 seconds behind Michael Skurlock. Edward Foster, who took us on for that lap earlier in the broadcast, is sitting there in P4 for Natari Autosport, 0.41 seconds behind the lead. In P5, we've got Dave Douglas from Mark 1 Esports, 0.46 seconds behind the lead. Joshua Carroll Walden, Natari Autosport as well, running under their banner, 0.47. You see how close those times are at the top here, guys. This is going to be absolutely sensational racing. McLaughlin there in P7 from Visage Images, 0.66 behind. Sorensen in P8, 0.68. Terry Marwood from EFT Racing in 9th, 0.74 behind. And Josh Micklemore from Mitch Motorsports, 0.91 behind, rounding out the top 10. So very, very interesting qualifying there. This is definitely going to bring a really good race, I think, with all these times. The thing we need to watch with these cars, viewers, though, is these guys are doing their qualifying and they're out there by themselves with no aero wash. With these cars, they play a lot with downforce. They've got a lot of downforce. And when you get close to a car behind you, sometimes it really affects the way that that car behaves. So it's gonna be hard for them to make a pass, and they're gonna have to be decisive. So, but we do have 2 sets of tyres, 75% fuel, as previously said, with 19 seconds to go in qualifying. They're going to have to make 2 stops. They won't be able to make it on fuel under 1. They're going to have to double stint a set of tyres. So double stint, I mean, probably 10 laps, 7 laps, whatever they decide to do on the set of tyres, and then come in and just do a fuel drop. So interesting to see how they're going to play that out and what compound they're going to run, because they do have 3 compounds. But here we go. We're about to go into the race. So here we go. We've got the results in front of you. Off the front is Michael Skurlock. Out of P2 is Sam Katakazunas. P3 is Luke Traher. P4 is Edward Foster. P5 is Dave Douglas. P6 is Joshua Carroll Walden. P7, Sean McLaughlin. P8 is John Sorensen. P9 is Terry Marwood for EFT Racing. P10 is Josh Micklemore. In P11 is Lachlan Acujo, and P12 is Riley Curtis. And if we roll across the page and wait for that to roll up, sorry guys, just waiting for that page to roll over. There we go. We've got that there. Out of P13, Jason Martin, last week's winner in P13. Brady Buchanan in P14. Out of P15 is Hayden Jackson, followed by Jamie Nankervis out of P16. Shannon Wright, his teammate from EFT Racing in P17. Norman Clark from Natari Autosport in P18. Greg Spencer from Activity Hub Barley Racing in 19, followed by Phil Connor in P20. P21 is Tristan Koch. And 22 is Ruben Phelps from the Mark 1 Esports team. We've got Rob Fletcher out of P23 and Sean King out of 24. Rolling over again, Jake Skilton out of P25 as we see them start to roll off under the pace car. P26 is Nigel Payton there from Activity Hub Barley Racing. Jaden Russell out of 27, and rounding out the field in P28 is Andy Kay. So here we go. We are under the pace car's control now. So tonight we are going to be double file start. It's going to be on iRacing. It's going to be on the green. And then if we do have cautions, and I hope we don't, I hope these guys have a really clean race, then we are going to have single file restart. And it looks like we've had a bit of an incident under caution that I'm hearing through my comms in my ear, which is really unfortunate. And we're just going back to the instant replay now, as you can see. Don't know what's happened. Yeah, it looks like it's in the background there, and we can't quite see it at the moment. But that's all right. We'll push on and we'll keep going. So double file start. It'll go on the green. We've got Skurlock off the pole. Amazing time. Luke Trahere off 3. A lot of the top guys are up there. This is different disciplines for a lot of these guys as well. This is the brilliance of this series, is we're going from road to dirt to oval, all the difference. So this series is open wide for anyone to win it. So we're going to go green, off iRacing green, and then if there is any cautions, we are going to be doing single file and it'll be off leader. So let's just watch them roll around for a minute while I catch my breath, because I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to talk or not talk for the next hour or so. So let's watch them just get around. Ladies and gentlemen from Australia, New Zealand, around the world, buckle in their seatbelts, get amongst it, sit in your armchair, do whatever, and get ready for 40 laps of bustling IndyCar racing around Watkins Glen Butte. Okay, guys, we're coming down to the boot section now, getting ready to 4 corners left until we go green. Put your bets in on who you think's going to win this thing. I literally could flick a coin and it could be anyone, to be honest. I don't know. I have a feeling this is going to get gnarly pretty quick, and excuse my Aussie slang there, but that's the Aussie word for going to get loose. So Michael Skurlock off P1 on the inside line. 2 corners till we go green. The guys are doing a really good job here, getting really nice and formed up. The thing we're going to have to watch, a lot of them are starting on the reds. They can't light up those rear tyres early because they need to be able to get that power down. So here we go, round 2 of the InterSim Esports Network switch-up series from Watkins Glen Butte in the IndyCar series. Skurlock leads them to the line, all in his hands. Let's see how we go. Ready to go green. Here we go. Waiting. 1, 2, 3. Green light racing for round 2 of the InterSim Esports Network switch up series, and Skurlock leads them down into turn 1. Let's see if they can behave themselves into turn 1 and settle in. Oh, we got a couple of cars going wide there, but it looks like they've all got through fairly cleanly. all the drivers being very, very gentlemanlike and giving themselves a lot of room. So we haven't had much trouble at the moment as we see Skurlock come up into the bus stop now in P1 for the first lap around. Got to be very careful through here. Oh, we've got the car. Looks like Luke Trahare's had a bit of an incident in the background. He kept it on the track, which is really good. But you've got to be very careful on this first lap with cold tyres. So now we go through to the different section of Watkins Glen as opposed to the NASCAR section. Going downhill here, the braking section's longer than you think because you're braking downhill. Skurlock's doing a really good job in front, and we'll let these guys settle in for a lap or two and stop listening to my voice for a minute and see how they go, and let you viewers just sit on here and watch Skurlock as leader and get a grips of what the track is. But it looks like those front three have got a little bit of a gap at the moment. So let's just sit in and watch. And looks like we've had a driver. Sorry, we're back, guys, live. Looks like we've got a driver, Riley Curtis, back in the pits. We might be able to go back and have a look at what happened to Riley there. I'm not sure. I'll check with the camera. And here we go to an instant replay. Let's see what happened with Riley. Oh, yeah, just didn't give enough room on the outside there and turned straight into the person making the move. Oh, and then smashed the pits as well. Very unfortunate for Riley there. He was really quick in practice too, so unfortunate. But we do have one fast repair for these guys, so they'll come back out and keep going as we see Michael Skurlock there at the front. So we keep watching Michael Skurlock there at the front. Sam Katakazunas is keeping him very honest with Luke Trahare right behind there. Don't ride off Dave Douglas in fourth here. We'll see who can save their rear tyres. Like I said, this is going to be very different on how their strategy is going to play out. They got to keep the rear tyres behind them. They're going to have to double stint their tyres for a short period of time. I do suspect none of these drivers are going to take the mediums or the hards. They're going to always select the softs. So Skurlock's in the box seat at the moment if he can keep his head in it. But outside of that, there are some great battles going down the field at the moment. So we might jump on board shortly with one of them and have a chat to them, but we'll just let them get in the groove and see how they're going. All right, so we're back with Jamie Nankervis here, running mid-pack, 49 years old, from the Gold Coast in Queensland, running for EFT Racing in that purple Dallara. How good does that look? He's been doing a great job all night. He was actually up in the top 6 in practice earlier, so don't know what happened there through qualifying, but he's put his car in a tough spot to transfer forward, but pit strategies, all that type of stuff is going to make a big difference. He's currently sitting there in P14, just under 14 seconds off the lead, so doing a great job, and hopefully he can transition that car up a bit further. We'll see how he's going now. Now's probably the right time. I might actually jump on with Jamie and have a chat with him on board while he's having a drive. Just bear with me, guys, and I'll pull him up and... Oh, sorry, I've just had race control in there. It looks like Ed Foster's just had a big crash. Well, we're going to pull Jamie up. As you can see him going slow there on the inside. We go back to the instant replay here. So Ed Foster, he hates this corner. He did say it when he was doing the lap around. Doesn't look... Yeah, oh, there it is in the background there. So we thought he blinked, but we didn't quite catch that. But anyway, Ed Foster's had a bit of an incident, and that's not going to help him moving into the race. So Jamie's got a bit of a gap here, so I'm going to pull Jamie up and have a little bit of a chat to him and see how he thinks the race is going. Just bear with me while I pull him up, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie Nankervis, Aidan Schultz from the commentary booth, mate. Have you got a coffee? Coffee.
Yeah, I'd love a coffee, mate. You got a coffee? I got a coffee.
Mate, seriously, a coffee. What are we doing? I'm meant to be commentating. I'm too busy talking about drinks. Are you kidding?
That's it. Wrong store, mate. I'm here. What's going on?
Mate, how you going, mate? You were really quick in practice there. You were up in the top 6 for a while, sitting down there in 14th, I believe. How do you think the race is panning out? I know you do have a car on your tail now, so I don't want to take too much of your time away and concentrate. So and there I did it. I just put the commentator's curse on you. How's the race going, mate?
Backwards at the moment.
Yeah, right. I'm going to let you go race because I think I just put the commentator's curse on you, mate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that didn't work. We went on board with Jamie. He said he was happy to do that early, and I hope we didn't just stuff his race because we're trying to create a little bit more content here at Intersim Esports Network, and these guys are really, really nice enough to let us jump on board and be able to have a conversation while they drive and feel really bad for Jamie there. Hopefully that wasn't us, but we let him get back up into the cockpit. He does have one fast repair, and he just made a bit of a mistake there. So I do apologise to Jamie if that did affect him. But anyway, we are back in the race. Skurlock looks like he's got 0.6 of a second on Sam Katakazunas, which is a really heating up battle here at the front. They're making a really big gap there to Luke Trahair in P3, who looks like he's got a really big gap there to Dave Douglas. But we're lap 6 out of 40. Expect these guys to be pitting around about lap 15, and anything can change. We don't know. They can come through the pit lane, get a penalty, etc., etc. Yeah, we got Terry Marwood from EFT Racing, Jamie's teammates, doing a sensational job tonight up into P6, 8.3 seconds off the lead. The silent assassin, old Terry, we love him. He was nice enough to let us jump on board last week as well in round 1 in the trucks. He doesn't usually have a lot to say, but he does a lot more talking with his driving, which he's doing again tonight, as we can see him going around there. And we need to make a big shout out to all these guys. So for guys that aren't familiar with Intersim Esports Network or even iRacing in general, a lot of these guys, we run a lot of different series, and I'm a driver. Oh, and we've got someone that just had a lock up there. A lot of these drivers that are in this series, we run against each other in different series week in, week out, and there's such respect between all of them. And a lot of the series that we've run have gone green flag for a long time. So there's a lot of respect for all these drivers, and that's why you're seeing the quality of racing we're seeing out here tonight. It's absolutely amazing. And as I just sort of digress, and sorry guys if I'm jumping around left and right, I'm the only one in the commentary booth tonight, and I'm hearing stuff through race control in my ear, and I'm trying to catch up with everything going on. But we're on board now. We got Jaden Russell here. He's up 13 or 14 spots from the start, right there behind round 1 winner Jason Martin. So he's putting the pressure on Jason, but as he pulls up on the back of that car, he's going to get aero wash, and that car's going to want to push. So when he wants to make that move, he's going to have to make that move decisive. They do have push to pass. So up here through the bus stop is definitely not the place to do it, but don't be surprised if he makes a move and pokes the nose up there down through one of these corners in the back end of the track. And here it is here it is there it is there, I said. Looks like Jason Martin just rolled off the throttle there, knew he didn't have the pace and just let him go. So brilliant drive from Jaden Russell at the moment, moving up forwards, and this is the brilliance of this series. Jaden didn't do that well last round, but look at him now moving forward. Young 20-year-old from Hobart in Tasmania, running for Synergy Sim Racing, moving forward at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So let's keep a real good eye on Jaden's progress as we transition to the mid to back end of this race. And now we transition across to Edward Foster, who had that mishap before. As we say, Edward Foster, 38 years old, from Aldinga Beach in South Australia, running from Natari Autosport. And he is right behind his teammate, JCW, Joshua Carroll Walden. Oh, sorry, my apologies. Josh Micklemore from Mitch Motorsports. So he's given Josh a little bit of heat at the moment. See if he can get a run up here, but into the bus stop, she'll be a bit hairy. Here he goes, he's going to send it. Oh, Josh backs out. Very wise of Josh there. I definitely wouldn't have made that move if that was me, but the way that I've been doing my racing lately, I probably would have ended up in the fence. So this is the difference between quality and amateur as I am. So Ed Foster doing an amazing job there, trying to recover from that early incident as he tries to move forward back through the field. And we're just moving back to an instant replay now of Jamie. Jamie's had another incident by the looks of it, and he can't blame the commentator on this one because I wasn't talking to him. So let's see what happens to Jamie. Oh, big push into the wall. Oh. Wouldn't want to see the repair bill on that thing. All right, he's had a tough night. I hope that I wasn't the start of that, but that's unfortunate for Jamie. But he's got that fast repair. He wouldn't have needed to use it on that first incident, and yeah, unfortunate for Jamie. But hopefully he keeps going around. So we've still got Michael Skurlock out in the lead, and it looks like he is building that lead a little bit. He's got 0.8 seconds now over Sam Katazunas, doing a very, very solid job there. We've got Luke Trahere still in third place, doing a very solid job, and they've sort of gapped fourth place at the moment. But from fourth place all the way down to eighth, it seems like there's a really good battle. But with Jamie, with his incidents earlier, he did say to me, I was talking to him before we come onto the broadcast, because he was going to do the lap that Ed did and take his around. He has had a few internet issues tonight, and he said that he wasn't happy to be able to take us around. So it might have been an internet issue, but very unfortunate for Jamie. We just hope that he keeps going around and seeing where he ends up. Anyway, I do want to bring up another driver shortly, but I'm a little bit afraid to as someone just locks the brake, because a lot of guys... Oh, we got someone that's going to go into the fence there. We might have to bring up a replay there. Someone was in the... Oh, and another one off. That's not Luke Trahere, is it? Luke Trahere out of third place. He's made a mistake. What's happened here? Oh, like I said, got to keep those rears under you and just lit them up. I knew, all I saw was Force India. I just thought, Force India car, that's Luke Trahere. So very unfortunate for Luke as well. And now we're just going to a replay of Caden Jackson, who's had an unfortunate incident as well. And similar to Jamie, he got a lot of push there and just on the gas too early and just spun her around. Yeah, it's as I've got Paul doing cameras and race control in the background, it must be those Force India cars. They seem to want to light up those rears at the moment. But we're going around lap 10. We're going to be coming into the pit stop soon and see how they transition through the pit stops. We've got Michael Skurlock there, Skurlock there in first place. Sam Katazunas has actually really given him a bit of a run for his money now. I reckon I know what Sam's doing here. He's just sitting behind him. He's just outside that aero wash, and he's going to try dump him in the pits, because there's no point fighting too early now. They're going to win this race on lap 30 or 35 after their second pit stop. So he'll just sit there and he'll try to do a faster pit stop and jump him in the pits. If I was Sam, I'd possibly come in one lap early and do the undercut, but I'm not in the car, so I can't really say for that. But in saying that, let's jump in car with Sam behind Michael Skurlock for a lap or two and turn up the noise and have a listen to the IndyCar around Watkins booth. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, a lap on Sam Katakazounis IndyCar around Watkins Glen boot out of Melbourne in Victoria, currently in P2. Looks like Skurlock has just pulled a little bit of a gap on him. Amazing, absolutely amazing footage there. Thank you, Paul, for being able to bring that footage to all the viewers around Australia, New Zealand, and all around the world to be able to bring this broadcast to you from IntoSim Esports Network. Get on and like our socials, IntoSim, IN2SIM Esports Network. Get on and follow that and have a look. And sorry, I've got someone in the background, but I'll just finish that. IntoSim Esports Network. Follow that on socials. Get amongst it. You'll be able to see all this on the IntoSim Esports Network Switch Up series from 7:30 p.m. on a Friday night, and we will be branching off into other series as well for anyone that wants to have us. Usually we'll have Andrew Collins in here, which is helping in broadcasting. We're also going to have other people join in and help me in commentary, so please bear with me to the guys tonight as we are lap 12 of 40 as I'm on my lonesome as we see a car in the wall there. But we're trying to bring you all the action as good as we can, thick and fast from Watkins boot in the IndyCar. So here we go, the pit stop cycle started now. So we've got Sam and Skurlock, Sam Katakazounis and Michael Skurlock in the pits as I predicted. They're a little bit earlier than what I predicted, but they're in there. So Sam's going to want to try and make a jump and try and jump Skurlock. Top six are in. They're all following suit here, so they don't want to go off kilter. Josh Micklemore's staying out, running another lap, so he's going to try run it longer. The undercut's probably not going to help him at all, but he's going to have stronger tyres. It depends what they're doing here with tyres. Be interesting once they cycle here and see what Skurlock... Sam's got the jump on Skurlock by the looks of that. Sam Katakazounis, by the looks of it, has got the jump on Michael Skurlock through the pitch, which is exactly what I said he was going to try and do, and he's done that perfectly. So let's see what tyres Sam's got on there. I can't really see that at the moment. Looks like they've both still got reds. So Sam has had an amazing pit stop there, and that's exactly what I thought he was going to do. And he has done that perfectly. But let's see, Skurlock has shown a lot of pace earlier in this race, so let's see if he can bring it back up to Sam. But there is a car in between them at the moment, so that's really going to hurt Skurlock to be able to bring that car back up to the front. So here we go, Michael Skurlock trying to get past that car in front of him to be able to give a run to Sam Katakazounis. He's going to have to pick his time wisely here. They go on the front straight. Here's his chance here. There it is. He's gone into the pit. So now we go. We've got a full-blown race for first and second at the front. They are light years in front of second at the moment. So at the moment, it's a two-horse race. We're 9 seconds back. Dave Douglas has now moved himself up into P3. Which doesn't surprise me after his practice pace. He's been really quick. We got JCW, Joshua Carroll-Walton in P4, 13 seconds behind. Sorensen in 5th from Vision Simages, who brings you all the amazing images that you see on IntoSim Esports Network, and you will see that over the coming days from this round in P5. Edward Foster's done a sensational job after getting into a bit of trouble early, bringing himself up into P6. Luke Trahere from Crank Esports, my teammate in other leagues, has had a rough start where he was in P3 by a clear margin and now needs to work his way back up, but he's there in P7. Josh Micklemore, Mitch Motorsports in P10, 30 seconds behind. Lachlan Acrujo in P9. I've had many a good race with Lachlan. He's a really good dude, so hoping to see him move forward as the race goes on, and Jackson in the top 10, rounding it out, 44 seconds off the lead. But we don't know what tyres they're taking. It looks like I'm not sure who... Yeah, we're watching Ed Foster at the moment, and he's taken the hard compound. He's trying something different here on strategy, and we've got Luke Trahair, and I'm just going to call them the Force India cars tonight, even though they should be the Crank Esports. I'm going to call it the Force India car because that's what I'm used to looking at Formula One. But he's there on reds behind Ed, so he might jump Ed here, but interesting strategy here by Edward Foster. I don't know how this is going to play out. If it was me, with the way the tyres are, I'd be running reds the whole time. But like I said, they're going to have to do a fuel drop very, very quickly to be able to run to the end. So here we go. Luke's going to have to pick his time good here. He's got a really good run up through here where they're flat into sixth gear. He's going to pull on the inside here, and Ed's blocking and making it hard for him coming up into the bus stop. Ed's going to have to back out here and yield, or is he going to keep it there? He's keeping it there. What's going to happen here? Oh, great driving by the two of them. They keep it completely clean. Luke nearly takes it on the outside. Oh, my God. Ed was very committed there. Luke's got the pace. Luke just needs to settle it down here and make the move cleanly. Here we go. He'll get the drive off the corner. Here it goes, and he'll be straight up the inside here. So good job there by Luke Trahair. Ed knows he needed to give up there. He didn't have the tyres to be able to compete with it. So Ed just needs to settle down now. He's going to have a quicker car on the end of the run, depending what his strategy is. I've got no idea what his strategy is here running the hards, but you'll see Luke drive away from here at 1,000,000 miles an hour now. So we'll see whether this strategy for Edward Foster pays out on the end, because he's going to have some really good soft tyres at the end of the race. So let's have a look back in the pack. We've been concentrating on the front a lot, but we're all about showing everyone here on Indy Esports Network on what is happening. So we've got a couple of guys a lap down. Let's go back to Nigel Payton, who is fighting back there a lap down. Not sure what happened there. As we go on with Nigel Payton here and see how he's travelling. Nigel Payton, 14. He'd love me saying that. 48 years old from Wagga Wagga, New South Wales, for Activity Hub Barley Racing, running the number 2 car, sitting back there at the moment. Not sure how he got a lap down, but it might have been pit strategy, etc. But yeah, doing a nice solid job there and just keeping the car clean. Looks like we've had an incident with Sean King too as we go to the replay. Going back to the pits now, we'll see what happened with Sean. If we can get that, we'll just wait and see what happens. Oh, there we go again. Exactly what happened with Jamie. It looks like they're really underestimating that downhill. Looks like they're really underestimating that downhill brake and how much. And Edward made light of that in the lap he did earlier, that you really need to break that car earlier to be able to get it transitioned in. So he's not the first one that's done it, and he's not going to be the last. Oh, and we've got another one through that corner. John Sorensen into the wall. They're all, I don't know what's happening with that corner tonight. They're all struggling. So if you can get around that corner, you might win this race. All right, we go to another replay. Jaden Russell's back to the pits. Looks like there's another crash. We started off so clean, and guys are maybe pushing a little bit too hard, and there we go into the wall. Very unfortunate there for Jaden. But if we take the opportunity now as we go under green, we might jump on and just give these sponsors that make this sensational series, Intersim Esports for Network Switch Up series, a make it happen. So we might have to give them a big plug here and make it happen. So a quick shout out to all our sponsors while we're under green here and we're running. We've still got just over 20 laps to go. Chris Purnell, virtual motorsport mentor. Without him, we wouldn't be able to give away the driver training thing at the end of the season. So, Chris, thank you, mate. And from the bottom of our heart, we really do thank you for your help and your support of the series, because we're overwhelmed by all the support we've got. You can see all the images coming up on the right-hand side there, folks, of the broadcast of all the sponsors. So be sure to jump on their socials, follow them, and support the people that support us, because without these guys, we don't go racing. We don't go racing at all. Vision Images for supplying all their images after the racing. Locked On Lads. Locked On Lads have an amazing podcast that you need to jump on. They cover everything sim racing, not just this league. They do ANSCAR, Aussie Car, AOSC, all different leagues, and give you a complete rundown of all the iRacing leagues and results and people that run it. So jump on, like their page, follow their page, and show their podcast. Mayhem 4x4 Mechanical. Without those guys, we wouldn't be able to run either. They're giving up a lot of stuff to be able to give you guys content and give you guys prizes during and at the end of this series. So get onto their Facebook page, Mayhem 4x4 Mechanical, and give them a like, show them. And you know what? If you're in Brisbane here, jump on, give Jeremy Mackin there a call, and if you do have trouble with your car, he'll come to you and fix it. TJ Pollard, TP Graphics, as you see, his image is just gone now, but he's doing the paints, a random paint each round. So thank you so much, TJ. We haven't seen you run yet in the series, which is unfortunate. Obviously, you got a bit busy, but you're on here supporting the series. So again, without that type of stuff, we wouldn't be able to run without you. Bruzy Racewear Australia, obviously, for the gloves at the end of the series. That's great to be able to offer that to people. Great to be able to offer it to a random draw, and that's what we do. You don't need to be at the front all the time. You're always going to get something back from this league. And also Voodoo Vinyl and Signs. Nick James there from Voodoo Vinyl Signs is supplying all the trophies and everything now, which are massive, and we can't wait to bring them to you on social media in the coming weeks to be able to show you what these guys are running for as we go to Dirt next week. For round 3, so we see. All right, and I've just had race control in my ear, and we've got Sean in the ambulance come get me, as we call it, to come up and have a chat. So I'll just bring him up, and we'll see what happened with Sean. Sean King, you got a copy, mate?
Yeah, got you there, Aiden.
Sean, we saw you had a little bit of an issue there, mate. You're up in the ambulance, come get me chat. That's never a way you want to end or have your race. Let the viewers know what happened, mate. What happened there?
Basically, just not used to the Indy cars, man. Like, I'm a NASCAR fan, Utes, etc. So, first time out in the good old Indy car that we got now, and yeah, it's just oversteered it basically.
Yeah, well, you're doing well early, and that's the beauty of this series. We've got different rounds, different cars, different tracks, so it might have been unfortunate for you tonight. And as we see another car go into the wall there, like you said, we've said this all the way through the broadcast. There's been a lot of issues, so that's the beauty about this series. There's different rounds each week. I know that you say that NASCAR or ovals is your strength, but if you can just keep going and keep going, you're going to be up there in the series, mate. So we appreciate you joining the series and supporting the series. Very unfortunate tonight for you to have that ending if you have finished, or whether you're going to be able to come back out again. But you were doing well by the time you circulated there.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's the same for everyone. Yeah. So we'll go dirt track racing next week or whatever, and I had fun. I circulated, like I said, and enjoy the rest of the race, fellas.
Yeah, well, hopefully your damage is not too bad and you can get it repaired and do a couple of laps, because as we're seeing now, guys are making mistakes everywhere, so you might be able to make up another couple of spots for your championship. But thank you for making yourself available on the IndySim Esports broadcast, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the season.
Mate, thank you for chatting. My race is done. Too many repairs. So, yeah, thanks for chatting, and we'll talk later.
Unfortunate, mate. No worries. Thank you, and look forward to seeing you next Friday for round 3.
Thank you. See ya.
And while we're just talking there to Sean, it looks like Skurlock, the leader, as we go back to the replay, has had an incident and moved right back, which has moved Luke Trahair, who had an incident earlier, to the front. So let's see what happened here with Michael Skurlock. Oh, there's those rears again. Exactly what I've said. And, oh, that's punched the right-hand rear big time. So that's really going to hurt the driving of that car. And there we go, he pushes straight into the grass again. So that car is definitely not driving straight. So he's going to have to probably come in here and take his fast repair, but probably a little bit too early to want to take the tyres. So, yeah, very unfortunate there for Michael Skurlock. So we see Luke Trahair here now up in the front. And Ed Foster, who had that incident earlier. This is how quick it can change. I can't keep up here, guys. Ed Foster is now up into P2. He was down nearly outside the top 10 about 7 laps ago. It is just changing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Yeah, and I'm hearing from race control in my ears now that Sam Katakazunas, who was leading Skurlock, the reason why he's dropped back now into 3rd is he's come into the pits and done that splash and dash with no tyres and going out. So the next time you see Sam pit, he's going to run green to the end on some red. So he's really in a good spot to take this win at the moment. He's driven that car well. I said earlier in the first stint that he wasn't going to fight Skurlock then. He was getting in the draft and he was waiting to jump in the pits, which he did. And then he came out and he's gone, okay, I need this amount of fuel to the end. I need to pit here. He's come in and pit again. Hasn't taken tyres because they only get one set of new tyres. And you watch him, I believe in the next 5 laps, Sam is going to come in. He's going to take a full tank of fuel, brand new tyres, and you watch this car rocket to the front. Also, as we see a car go wide there, I also need to make a big shout out to all the competitors. Oh, as we got one in the wall. Oh, was that Shannon Wright? Shannon Wright's in the wall. That's EFT Racing's having a really unfortunate night tonight. We had Jamie in the wall, Shannon's in the wall. Terry Marwood was doing well earlier. I'm not sure where Terry is now, whether he's disconnected. He hasn't seemed to have an incident, but he's down in 12th at the moment, so not sure what's happening there, but he might be playing this strategy game. But I just need to make a big shout out to everyone that's connected to IndySim Esports Network Switch Up Series and their liveries. The amount of time these guys take to put on the liveries to be able to give you an absolutely amazing show for you guys at home to be able to watch. Some of these liveries are absolutely sensational. So thank you to all the guys to be able to put those liveries together and let alone be a part of this series. And bear with me, guys, trying to keep up with the cars, numbers, races and teams, etc. I'm doing it all on my lonesome tonight, sitting here by myself. I've got Prue beside me, giving me all the notes, trying to keep up with it, and hopefully I'm doing a good job for all you viewers at home and trying to bring you the best content we can as we go into the back half of this race. And we just hear from race control, Edward Foster's just done his stop and splash as well with no tyres. So this is all about to play out, folks. Stay tuned. next 5-6 laps, it's all about the play out and where these guys are actually sitting. So we don't know at the moment as we go on board with Edward Foster from Alinga Beach in South Australia from Natari Autosport. He's done his splash and dash. I'm interested to see where Luke Trahair comes out in all this, leading at the front as well. Not sure what his strategy is playing out. Don't write Skurlock off. He's still in 4th there. He's used his fast repair by the looks of it. Micklemore, Urquio, Martin, McLaughlin. The list goes on. We might be talking 30, 40 seconds behind, but that's going to be nothing when we transition through these pit stops. So just like we did on round 1, folks, it was separated by 0.02, so don't be surprised if this isn't going to go down to the end as well. And as I say that, Luke Trahair has put himself in the pits and he's making a pit stop, and Sam Katakazunas has moved himself into P1. So Sam's in the box seat at the moment. Dave Douglas is there right behind. Skurlock has now jumped up in front of Trahair. Trahair's going down at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Did he stay out too long, or is this the MasterCard? We do not know. I can't keep up with this. I don't know what strategies, but I'll tell you what, in the next 4 or 5 laps, because I don't think they can go 16 laps with the fuel. So the next 4 or 5 laps, this race is all about the pan out. So, well, we've got a bit of a gap here. I might actually bring Dave Douglas up and have a chat with him. I know he was keen to have a chat. I might bring him up as we see a lock, try and give you a bit of different content and see what the drivers are thinking from the cockpit. I just want to have a look and see whether Dave Douglas has got a lot of pressure from Skurlock behind, because we don't want to annoy him. If he does, it looks like he's got a couple of seconds behind him. So we might bring him up and have a chat. Dave Douglas, you got a copy, mate? Aiden here from the commentary booth.
Yeah, I got you, boys.
Mate, sensational race so far. Hopefully we're not annoying you while you're mid-race. Seems like the race is working out well. There's been a few, well, not a few, a lot of little mistakes from people, and you've slowly worked your way up through the field. How's the race panning out for you so far?
Yeah, so far looks all right. It's net second, I think, at the moment with Skurlock behind me. So I'm not sure what happened to him, but I made some ground on there.
Yeah, Skurlock lit it up out of the boot and had a little bit of an incident there, mate. So, yeah, he, from what we saw on commentary, he had an incident and had to maybe go in for some repairs or something. We're not quite sure there, but he did make a mistake, so that's how you jumped up there. How's the car feeling? Are you feeling it's good? You feel you got something for the leaders at the end of this race?
I don't think I've got anything for Sam, but it feels pretty good, man. I'm just going to double the reds. So I doubled the first set, cut it in half, and double the second set.
And for the viewers, with the way that the fuels worked out tonight, how have you managed the race? Did you run it empty and then come in, didn't take tyres, run a short run and going to run a short run, then come in, take tyres and run it long to the end? Or how did you do it?
First one was to the bottom. Second time was a short. Like I had 5 litres left. And then, yeah, I think I'll just run this to the bottom and take a short stop at the last one, see if I can gain some positions. I don't know if you still got me, but I can't hear you guys.
I've still got you, mate. Sorry, I was pressing the wrong button. But good race so far, mate. You're doing amazing. Very unfortunate for Riley, fellow Mark 1 Esports driver in the early part of the race. So, yeah, but hopefully you can get that Mark 1 Esports car up on the podium. We can be talking to you in about 10 laps' time.
Sounds good, mate. That's the plan.
No worries, mate. Best of luck. We'll let you get back to it.
Cheers, mate.
There we have it, guys. We're on board with Dave Douglas, the 199 car from Mark 1 Esports. There's an insight right there into what the drivers are thinking as they're going around. Dave is always a cool customer. Well, he's in second there, and it was like nothing there talking to me. I'm glad he didn't put it in the wall like Jamie did. So obviously I'm not that much of a curse, but we'll see how we go. We've got 14 to go as we come around now. The 40-lap race has seemed like forever being on my own, but what a race it has been, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're tuning in to IndySim Esports Network from here, Australia, New Zealand, all across the world. Like it, share it, get amongst it so you can watch this brilliant content every week. As Sam Katakazunas has a commanding lead rather, of 15 seconds in front of Dave Douglas, and Skurlock is about 3 seconds behind him in third. I reckon Sam Katakazunas is the one to beat tonight. I do not think that anyone has anything for him. He has driven a commanding race and an absolutely stellar race and a smart race. So let's see how we go with 13 to go. There are going to be pit stops to go again. Who's going to muck up their pit stop and how's this going to go and who we're going to see in the broadcast booth. So I'm thinking now, let's go on board with someone we haven't had any interaction with tonight for a lap or two so I can try and get my breath. Joshua Carroll-Walden, let's go in car and give you a couple of laps around Watkins Glen Boot with Joshua Carroll-Walden. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and there's a couple of laps around the Watkins Glen Boot with JCW, Joshua Carroll-Walden, 24 years old, out of Brisbane, Australia, running for Natari Autosport. He's actually said he wouldn't mind having a chat with us too, so we might bring him up for a chat. I know we're about to go into pit stops. Hopefully we don't stuff that up, but hey, it's all content, isn't it? So let's bring Joshua Carroll-Walden up and have a chat and see how his race is going. JCW, you got a copy there, mate?
Yep, got a copy, Aidan.
Mate, sensational race so far. It's been a war of attrition. What's your reports on how your race has gone so far for the viewers?
Yeah, it's been quite okay, really. I did make a big mistake into the bus stop that I just went through about 10 laps ago, where I basically just missed my braking marker and had to go straight. But apart from that, you know, it's been pretty tame. Like, yeah, the only other notable thing that's really gone on is all the carnage I had to weave my way through at about lap 12. But yeah, it's been quite a straightforward race for me so far.
Yeah, we threw a bit of a strategy thing for you guys as well tonight with how you were going to play your fuel, tyres, etc. What's your strategy? Obviously, none of the drivers can hear this at the moment. So what's your strategy going into the back end of this? You're probably going to have to pit again. You did you double a set of tyres for a couple of laps, or where are you sitting heading into the back end of this race?
It's about to come into the pits now, so that's great committed timing. But yeah, what I've done this race essentially is I double stinted the black tires, the primary tires for the first 2 stints, and now I've done and now I'll do the same on the run home. So I've just basically kept it simple, really. Just splitting the race in half, and just gone about it that way.
Yeah, okay, mate. Well, I see you in pit lane there. It was really bad timing. Didn't realise that. We'll let you transition through pits and get back into the lane and finish the race, mate. We'll let you go.
Yep, no worries. Thanks, Short C.
And there we have it, guys. Again, really good timing by me as he goes into the pits. We did a really good job, and thank you, JCW, for allowing us to get on board with him while he was transitioning through the pit lane. As you hear it then, so many different strategies that we've got going on in this race. Sam Katakazunas has this tied up with 10 to go, but God knows what can happen. We got no idea what's going to happen here. So far, there's been no multi-car crashes, but it's been really good, which once again shows all the respect these drivers have for each other. There's just been single car spins, etc., etc. It's been amazing. So it happened in round 1 as well. We went completely green the whole way, apart from one little tiny incident on the start. Guys, from Paul, Prue and I, we cannot thank you enough. We are overwhelmed with the support that we have from the InterSim Esports Switch Up series for our first ever series that we've run. We're in round 2. We've got over 50 registrations. We're nearly getting 30 cars every single race. Guys, get on, like the page, get amongst it. There's trophies, there's giveaways, there's live broadcasts as you hear my sensational voice right now, pardon the pun. There's so much to come with 10 rounds to go. The last 2 rounds is going to be double points, so anyone can win it. There is one drop round, so if you are watching this, get on there and like our page, get on Discord. You can still be a part of it and you can still win the series. So just as we see Ed Foster there just taking the lead. So the strategy now is playing out very, very differently. We're not sure what Ed's strategy here. He did put my teeth in. He did run the hard tyres earlier and he's now on the soft tyres. So the wily old fox, Mr. Edward Foster, never write him off in a race. He's really fast and he's really smart. So this could be the race winning move, but Sam Katakazunas has been sensationally quick all night. So here he comes, as you can see him ranging up on the back of Edward there. So guys from Australia, New Zealand, all around the world, strap in those belts, get in your armchair, get in your lounge room. If you don't have belts, go and get some rope, strap yourself in, because 8 laps to go. This is going to get heated. Definitely going to get heated. If it's anything to do with round 1 or like round 1, this is about to get heated. As we can see, Sam is slowly closing that gap up on Ed. So what's going to be really, really important for Edward Foster here is just keep those rear tyres under him and be able to get there at the end, as we've got a car there slowing on the inside. Not sure who that was. We're with race control at the moment. We're not sure who that was. So if we do get that, we'll come back to you and let you know who that was. But there's definitely a car there slowing on the inside. So we've got 8 to go. So currently, we'll give you a rundown with 8 to go. We've got P1, Edward Foster from Natari Autosport. P2, Sam Katakazunas. P3, Luke Trehair from Crank Esports. P4, Dave Douglas out of Mark 1 Esports. P5, Skurlock out of Crank Esports. P6, JCW, Joshua Carroll Walden, Natari Autosports, who we just went on board with and was lucky enough to hear him transition through a pit stop. As we see a move here down the inside. Sean McLaughlin on Micklemore. Really, really good move there by Sean McLaughlin. So Micklemore dropped back to 9th, but if we keep going, Lachlan Akujo there in P7. And for people that don't know Lachlan is actually a champion in one of the AMSCAR series earlier in the season, so he did really well in that. We've got McLaughlin in 8th, Josh Micklemore's now dropped back to 9th, and Jason Martin, our round 1 winner by 0.02 of a second, is rounding out the top 10. So guys, I'm thinking what we're going to do here is we're going to settle in. We've got 7 laps to go, so we've probably got about 10 to 12 minutes worth of racing left. I'm thinking with Ed Foster being out in front, 3 seconds in front of Sam, let's bring him up and have our last chat to one of the drivers before we strap down those belts and get into the last couple of laps and see how Ed's feeling. Although Sam's catching him up pretty quick, so I'm not sure whether this is the right time to hop on. So I'm thinking I might just let him race that one at the moment. So yeah, let's just let him do that. But it's going ebb and flows at the moment. Looks like Ed's doing a good job. So no one else. And we're currently watching Ruben Phelps from New Zealand at the moment. So, well, we wanted to get on with Ed, so let's get on with Ruben. Ruben said he'd be happy for a chat. 28 years old from New Zealand, driving for RP Motorsports, but he's part of the Mark 1 Esports team. So let's jump on and have a chat with Ruben and see how his night's going. Ruben Phelps, Aidan Schultz from the commentary booth, mate. Have you got a copy?
How's it going, Aidan?
Yeah, good, mate, good. You're up a lot of spots from the start, mate. How's your race going?
Well, it's been pretty cruisy until the last stint here. I've had a couple of mistakes and all that, but other than that, I have enjoyed myself out here. Not really going for the competitive laps. I'm just trying to get used to this car and just enjoy it.
Yeah, and thanks for making yourself available, mate. I know it's hard around a road course, especially in IndyCar, etc. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but how have you found the difference with the fuel and all the strategy and everything? Has it played out right for you and you feeling okay?
Yeah, no, not too bad. It's just the best thing is you just get to log laps, so it's actually nice just doing some laps rather than having to worry about who's around you or bunching up. You can just enjoy it while you're going and see if you can get in a position on the way.
Yeah, copy, mate. No worries. Well, we won't keep you any longer. Thank you for making yourself available. Get in there and concentrate for the last couple of laps, mate.
Nah, it's all good. Thanks.
And Ed's just pitted there with 5 to go. So there we go. There was that different. And thank you, before we get onto that, from Ruben Phelps. I might have cut him short a little bit there. I don't know whether he made a mistake while we were talking, but I ask all these guys before we go racing whether they're willing to have a chat. So as much as I feel bad, you know, I've got to create content, and if they want to have a chat during the race, then they can. So looks like Ed Foster there pitted. I don't know what that strategy was. We've got Sam Katakazunas. He's in the box seat. He's going to drive away with this. Dave Douglas in second. Edward Foster in third, with Michael Skurlock right behind him. So the battle for the podium here, guys, is going to be on. We've got JCW right there as well. And don't write off Luke Traher, because if Skurlock and Foster try to start fighting this in the last 4 laps, which, depending... I don't think Skurlock will have anything for Foster, because Foster just pitted, so Foster's tyres are going to be better. So, guys, I'm going to call it now. This might be your top 3 that you see right now. Katakazunas, Douglas and Foster in the top 3. Great drive by everyone, though. We haven't had a full course caution. Sorry, guys, I've had so many words coming out of my mouth and everything going on tonight. Excuse me for not putting my teeth in, but looks like we've got a top 3 of Sam Katakazunas, Dave Douglas and Foster at the moment, bar anything happening. So P4's Michael Skurlock, P5's Joshua Carroll-Walden, P6 Luke Trahere, 7 Lachlan Acujo, 7 McLaughlin, it's changing, 7 Acujo, 8 Joshy Micklemore, 9th McLaughlin, 10th Jason Martin, rounding out your top 10. Looks like that they are some of the only people on the lead lap. Terry Marwood is currently on the lead lap in P11, the last car on the lead lap. Been a nice, good, solid run from Terry tonight. He hasn't had a lot of airtime, but he's just been circulating and doing his thing, and that's going to be really good for his championship points. There's a lot of guys out that's made a few mistakes, which is really unfortunate for them. But as we go there, we got 3 to go, and we will just watch them as we come on to the back end of this race. Looking at the front there, Sam Katakazunas is definitely pulling away from Dave Douglas, but I'd like to focus now on the Dave Douglas-Edward Foster battle, because Ed has just come out of the pits and he's pulling on Dave Douglas at 1,000,000 miles an hour. He is catching him really quickly. So let's have a look at this battle and see whether Edward's going to be able to fight for a second place or whether he's going to be sitting there and just being happy with the third. And it looks like Lachlan Urquio, guys, has just had an incident. Sorry, I was just having a sip of water and I got too excited, sorry. So what's happened? Yeah, that same corner just lit the rear tyres. So very unfortunate for Lachlan there. He was in for a very solid top 10. So unfortunate, but we're about to get to the back end of the race, guys. So settle in. We've got 3 laps to go, about to transition to 2. Thank you for everyone that has tuned in to InterSim Esports Network to watch this broadcast of round 2 of the InterSim Esports Network switch-up series from Watkins, Glen in the boot configuration tonight in the Indy cars. Next week, we go to Eldora in the dirt midget for some heat racing, consolation racing, and feature racing. So be sure, jump on, get amongst that. Brilliance of this series. Different people at the front every week. You watch the points change this week. So we got 2 to go as we're on board here with Sam Katakazunas. Let's watch him and see whether he can get this win. It looks like he's got this tied up. It looks like Douglas and Foster are going to be fighting for second and third, but let's give Sam some airtime here for the last 2 laps of the race. Let's keep on board with him. From Team Bushfink Racing from Melbourne, Victoria, Sam Katakazunas. So Sam's got a bit of lap traffic here, but he's got 16 seconds, so he's just going to sit in here and bide his time. Next time past the strike, he's going to get the white flag and take home the win. Sam didn't have the best result in round 1, so this is going to be a really, really good result for him and bring him up the standings. Really, really great stellar drive from Sam to be able to do this tonight. He jumped Michael Skurlock in the pits on the first pit stop. I called it, and he has not looked back since. As he gets the run now, just break it into turn 1, get it turned in. There we go, hit the apex, take all the exit, and here we go. We've got a car coming out the pits there. Hopefully he gives him room. But they're all gentlemen around here. They're all gentlemen in this league. They give each other room. So great by whoever come out of the pits there to give him room. So Sam Katakazunas from Melbourne, Victoria, Team Bushfink Racing. Last lap. Here we go. It's going to be the winner of round 2 with nothing going wrong, obviously, and I don't want to give him the commentator's curse. He's currently got 17 seconds on Douglas, 21 seconds on Foster. It looks like that's going to be our top 3. We're going down into the boot section now with Sam Katakazunas. Down in here, brake early. Downhill braking zone, keep the car nice and clean. He's done it all night, nice and clean. As we come up, and we've got a close battle for third and fourth at the moment, but we've got to concentrate on Sam as the leader as he goes over the line. As we see back there, we just did jump back and there's a close battle, but let's give and Sam just made a mistake. But let's give all the airtime to Sam as he's about to go over the line. He deserves this. A sensational drive from Sam Katakazounis. One more corner to go, and the checkered flag is in. And the winner of round 2 of the Intersim Esports Network Switch-Up Series is Sam Katakazounis. And we'll go back to second place, Dave Douglas. Here's Dave coming to take the checkered flag now. Second place from Mark 1 Esports, Dave Douglas. Well done, Dave, and followed there as they're all swerving, getting excited, is Edward Foster. Rounds out the top 3. What a sensational round 2 for round 2 of the Intersim Esports Network Switch-Up Series. Amazing as we see all these drivers start come across the line. We'll run you through the drivers as they do complete their final lap. So winning and victorious was Sam Katakazounis in P1. P2 was Dave Douglas out of Mark 1 Esports. P3, Edward Foster in the 53 Natari Autosport IndyCar. P4 was Michael Skurlock out of my stable, the Crank Esports team. P5, Joshua Carroll Walden out of Natari Autosports. And P6 was Lukey Traher, also out of the Crank Esports team. Mr. McLaughlin, the images himself, was in P7. Well, currently still going, I believe, but looks like he's going to get P7, which is a really good drive from him. Jason Martin is P8, and Lachlan Acujo is P9 after an unfortunate spin, which probably would have seen him in a top 5 otherwise. And Terry Marwood, who has been quiet all night but did a really good job and kept circulating, was 1 lap down in P10. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the broadcast. Give us a couple of minutes. We're going to bring the top 3 up into the broadcast booth, and we are going to have a chat to them and see what they have to say and let them thank all their sponsors. But thank you for tuning in, and we'll bring them up now. There you see there's the results. So I'll quickly run through that before we bring them up in full. Sam Katakazounis from Team Bushfink Racing in P1. Dave Douglas P2, Edward Foster in 3, Michael Skurlock in 4. Joshua Carroll Walden came in P5, Luke Traher P6, Sean McLaughlin in 7, Jason Martin in 8, Lachlan Acujo in 9th, and Terry Marwood rounding out your top 10. Rolling on from there, Josh Micklemore was in P11, John Sorensen 12, Norman Clark 13, Ruben Phelps in 14, hopefully I didn't put the mocker on him. 15 was Riley Curtis, 16 Tristan Koch, 17 Nigel Payton, and 18 Jake Skilton. And I think we roll across because there's a couple more people. Jake Skilton, so just catching up to where I was. So Phil Connor there in P19, Greg Spencer in P20, Rob Fletcher P21, Hayden Jackson 22, Jamie Nankervis with an unfortunate start in 23, Brady Buchanan 24, Shannon Wright 25, Jaden Russell 26, Sean King 27, and rounding out the field in 28th was Andy Kay. So guys, we'll just go and bring these guys up into the broadcast booth now and have a chat to them.
Pushing your button, Aiden. Can't hear you, mate.
Yeah, not talking yet, mate. Just trying to get everyone up into the booth. Bear with me. I'm sorry. Just trying to find Sam. I can't see him here on Discord here, so don't think he's here. But guys, sensational race for round 2 of the Intersim Esports Network Switch Up Series. Firstly, Ed, we'll start with you, mate. You had a bit of a mistake there earlier in the race. And first of all, before we get into all the pre-race stuff and all the thank yous, I just need to thank you personally to be able to create that content and take the viewers on a lap earlier of the track and make yourself available. So thank you from all us here on the broadcast team and Intersim Esports Network. Thank you, mate. It's appreciated. But great drive, mate. You did an amazing job. You had a bit of an issue early and you fought back and you actually ran some hard tyres there. So what were you thinking on your strategy? It obviously worked to get a podium.
Yeah, well, I mean, the idea was I was kind of, well, first of all, that's, my pleasure to do that kind of stuff. I know what it's like running leagues and trying to promote them and stuff like that, so I'm always happy to help out in that way. Gets me on TV again, struck the old ego a little bit. Only kidding, but as far as that strategy went, I was originally planning to run blacks for the entire time because I really figured that 20 laps was too far to go on a set of reds. And I was just going to sort of monitor how everybody else went. And they were sort of breaking it up into 4, which I sort of understood, but it also didn't make a lot of sense given the fact that on 2 of the stops we wouldn't be changing tyres. So my line of thinking was, why would you give away those really fast, lightweight laps? So I ran the fuel all the way out both times. And while I was doing that, I was keeping an eye on the cars that were on the reds. So I had an idea of what the life was. And then, of course, I only had around about 17, 16 laps to go by the time I ran out of fuel the second time. And so I thought, okay, well, it's not too far to go. It's about, it's well under half the race distance. I'll bolt on a set of reds and see how we go. And was able to take off from there and really start attacking the curves and all those other nice things that you get to do when you've got some nice grippy tyres on. And again, ran the fuel out because I knew I wasn't going to be changing tyres again, take advantage of that nice light car for as long as I could, and just see where I came out at the last stop. I came out and I was ahead of JCW, who I've been chasing, and I was ahead of Trehair and ahead of Skurlock, which surprised me. And then it was a matter of trying to chase down Dave, and I was taking little bits out of him. I mean, I don't think I would have got him, but I would have liked to have made a fight of it. But unfortunately, I had the first problem with the back marker I had all night. Just didn't look like he knew where to be. He was kind of in the middle of the track, then he was kind of here, then he was there, and really didn't have any idea what he was going to do or where he was going to go. So that made it awkward, and then I just lost that time, and it took it from a slim chance to no chance. So look, as far as a recovery drive, I'm pretty happy with it to get back to third. I did not think that was going to be possible after that mistake. Congrats to Sam, congrats to Dave. They've done the job tonight, and I'm just up here on the small step.
Yeah, mate. Well, congratulations again. It was absolutely enthralling from a commentary point of view. We did not know with all the different strategies what people are going to do, tyres and everything. I couldn't keep up with it. I've literally nearly got no voice. I'm just talking, not knowing. Where you came in late there with 5, 6 or 7 to go, I think it was. I'm like, I'm not sure what's happened here, but mate, whatever you were doing, it worked, and congratulations, because you've got yourself on the podium for the second week in a row. And again, thank you so much for being a part of the Intersim Esports Network Switch Up series, mate. It's a pleasure to have you a part of it, and you do run your own league, which I run in, and it's a pleasure to be able to be a part of you guys in the sim racing world. So thank you so much. But is there anyone you want to thank before we move on and let Dave have a bit of a chat?
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, first of all, you guys for jumping in the deep end and putting on a league and trying to broadcast and everything. I know what that's like. I've done it, and it's very difficult. So to do what you're doing is admirable. The level of effort that it takes to actually put something like this together. We drivers are a fairly demanding lot, and it's kind of like herding cats sometimes. I know. So you do a great job with it.
I am, mate. I talk to you all the time. I'm very demanding. But anyway.
So okay. Anyway, and of course, there's the team sponsors as well. So we have the sponsors that run with us in the ANSCAR series, but I'll give them a shout out anyway. So it's Bridgestone Select, Ferguson Group Media, Race Magazine, Two Fat Blokes, and AJ Insurance Services. So we're happy to have those guys along, and of course shout out to Josh Carroll Walden for a good finish. I think he finished 5th or something like that, 5th or 6th. And Norman, I think, came home in 13th, which is solid effort as well for Natari Autosport NZ. So, yeah, happy all round.
No worries, Ed. Well, thank you so much, mate. We'll see you in round 4. You're not going to be here in round 3, unfortunately, as we spoke about, but with other commitments. So have fun with that. Hopefully we see you in round 4, and great job tonight, mate, and take care, hey?
Thanks very much.
So we go to Dave Douglas in P2. Dave, mate, P2, mate. How'd that go for you?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, mate. As I said to you, pre-race, I love these cars. I love getting in any chance we can drive them, and mate, they just sound so sweet when you get up on the noise. But yeah, made a good start. I got a good jump. I wanted to take it 4 wide just so it looked good on TV and get a good screenshot down the inside. So half stuck it in there, but then I swept back to the left and actually passed 2 guys on the outside just about. So it was a pretty cool start from there. Just tried to settle in, get into a bit of a rhythm, and then try and work out what I was going to do with the tyres. So I basically thought I'll just cut the race in half and just go both sets of reds.
Yeah, we saw how that race unfolded. And like I was just mentioning to Ed, I couldn't really keep up with the strategy. Like, obviously, setting it up, I knew sort of what strategies you could do, but there were so many different options that drivers could do. What happened with the other guys in the Mark 1 cars? They had a bit of... I know Riley had a really unfortunate incident at the very start of the race. I don't know what happened with Ruben. I did jump on board with him. I don't know if that happened in the thing. What's the reports back from the Mark 1 guys?
Yeah, I know Riley got someone turned down on him or something like that. He had an early incident very early on, so he had to take a fast repair. I think he actually got the wall, I heard him saying. So he took a fast repair and got it repaired and just sort of trucked around to where he could. And Ruben, hasn't really driven his cars before, so he just come out for a bit of fun and hang out with the guys and have a bit of run. And yeah, so it was good to see him out here and having a fang around these awesome Indy cars.
Yeah, it was sensational to watch, and if you watch back the broadcast, I'd like to think it was an absolutely amazing viewing, mate. It was great, clean racing. Guys we run against every week, doesn't matter what we do. We always run, and there was a lot of respect by everyone. But congratulations, mate, on a P2 tonight. It was a stellar drive, nice and consolidated drive. You should be proud of yourself. That'll really help you in the championship standings. And most of all, from all us at IndySim Esports Network, we'd like to thank you for being a part and supporting our series, because without all you guys, we can't actually have a series. So we do thank you for that. But do you have anyone you want to thank before we cut the broadcast off tonight? Because unfortunately, Sam, the winner, is not up here in the broadcast booth to be able to have a chat with.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, congratulations to Sam. He was a level above. He had Michael Skurlock actually going with him, and unfortunately, Skurlock made a mistake, and I guess that's the nature of the beast. But Skurlock was having a good run up until then, so good. Congratulations to him. But yeah, congratulations to Ed, and especially you guys putting on the broadcast. It's what I've seen. It's been pretty cool. It's only round 2, and it's only just beginning. So really appreciate you guys putting in time and effort into this. And yeah, thanks to all the competitors that come out, and also make sure big shout out to the Mac 1 Esports guys for being part of the team and having a bit of fun on a Friday night.
No worries, Dave. Thank you so much. But there we go, guys. There's third place, Edward Foster, and Dave Douglas in second place there. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Sam Katakazunas up here into the booth to be able to have a chat. But thank you, guys, for joining round 2 of the IndySim Esports Network Switch-Up Series from Watkins and Glen Boot in the IndyCar. We just listened to Edward Foster and Dave Douglas, our second and third place winners for round 2. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next week. We go to Eldora in the midget. We look forward to seeing you then. Thank you for joining in.